Hi there. Today we are going to talk just a little bit more about Cumulative Test 13. And to do that, we have the first half of the review has already been posted, and I did that, but I split it into two parts, mostly because we talked about the first half on in class the other day, and I wanted to make sure that we had an opportunity to take a little breather in between, and we're going to talk about the other half, okay? So this is starting with question 11, and this is of course the review. Remember, this is not the actual test. The actual test has different numbers and might be slightly different than this. I know it's got different numbers, but just remember that as you are studying. Okay? So number 11 says find the sum of the integers. Notice that all of these are pluses in here. Plus and plus and plus. Which means that you could rearrange the order of the integers so that you are able to look at them, and I would match together the positive integers and the negative integers and then do your final addition or subtraction or whatever you need to do. So we notice that this 5 is positive and this 4 is positive, so I would put 5 plus 4 because they're both positive, plus, then you have a negative 12 plus a negative 3. Now that's a little bit better organized. It's a little easier to look at. 5 plus 4 today is 9. Okay. Plus, you got a negative 12 and a negative 3. Two negatives added together make another negative, so it's a negative 15. Now, if you remember the rule, if you have a positive and a negative added together, you would, yeah, that's right, subtract their absolute values and take the sign of the larger number's absolute values. So, okay, you have 15 minus 9, which is 6, and 15's absolute value was larger, it was 15, and it has a negative sign, so the answer is negative 6. Okay. Now, number 12, I regret to inform you that you're going to see one of these kind of problems on just about every test we do the rest of the year, so get used to it. Okay? All right, 2/5. We have to turn that into a decimal. There's two ways to do that. You can take 2 divided by 5. Okay? And you can go that route if you want to. Or you can take 2 over 5 and turn it into a denominator of 100, which is times 20, and times 20, and that turns into 40 over 100, and that's 40 hundredths. So either way, you're going to get 0.40. And if you remember correctly, when we take a decimal to a percent, we just move the decimal place 2 places to the right, and we end up with 40%. Okay? Now, on this one, we have to go to the left and to the right, but we'll go to the left first. This is read as 16 hundredths, so that's exactly what it is. 16 over 100. Now, you can reduce it to 8 over 50. And reduce it again to 4 over 25. You can read that, sorry. And then 16.16, move the decimal 2 places to the right, and you have 16%. That was pretty easy to do. Okay, when you're looking at the area of a parallelogram, the formula for the area of a parallelogram is base times height. And remember, with parallelograms, the height's always either going to be inside like this as a right angle, or sometimes you see it out here on the outside marked. In this case, it's right here. It's 8 feet. So base 14 times 8. And today, 14 times 8 is equal to 112. And it's going to be feet squared or square feet. Number 14, we are evaluating. Remember, evaluating really basically means solve, and in this case we have to substitute in here. We have to put in the numbers for the letters. So let's do that. A is 2 and B is 1/4. So 2, and there's a little tiny multiplication sign there. 2 times 1/4 plus 2 plus 1/4. So do the multiplication first. 2 over 1, or 2 times 1, excuse me, and then 1 times 4, 1 and 2. So we end up with 1/2 plus 2 plus 1/4. Now, I would probably rearrange that a little bit since it's all pluses, and I'd say 2 plus 1/4 plus 1/2. I'd change this into a fourth, so we have common denominators, times 2 times 2. So we end up with 2 plus 1/4 plus 2. Okay, I've got that right. And it's 2 plus 1/4 plus 1/2. Okay, so we change this into halves, and so we end up with 2 plus 1/4 plus 2 over 4, which ends up to be 2 plus 1 is 3 over 4, and that's 2 3/4. I was right the first time. I don't know why I doubted myself. Okay, sorry about that. All right, the next one we have to look at is we have 35 times 6 and w times 10. That's going to be the easiest way to do this. We're cross-producting, okay? So we're going to take 10 times w equals 6 times 35, okay? End up with 10w equals, and 6 times 35 today is 210. We're going to divide by 10, divide by 10. That's easy to do because we can cross out the zeros. Okay? And then we end up with 21 over 1, which of course is just 21. And that is the correct answer. Okay, the next one is solve for m. 1.5 m equals 2.25, sorry. Now to get rid of that 1.5, we're just going to divide by 1.5, and you get that special 1 there that you always get when you do that. And we're going to divide this by 1.5. So we got to do the math. So 2.25 divided by 1.5. Move the decimal over, move the decimal over, and up. So we end up with 15 goes into 22 just one time. Okay, so we put 15 right here. Subtract 15 from 12 is, I believe it's 7. And bring down a 5. Okay, and 15 goes into 75, I believe, 5 times. And you will end up with an answer of 1.5. Okay, you gotta really watch those decimals on that one. Okay, it says use order of operations to solve this problem. Okay, so that means that we go in as deep into the problem as we can. We have this first set of parentheses right here. So that's the first set we're going to deal with. So we end up with, I'm going to start over here. Okay, 120 minus 4 times 3 times 8 minus 3. Okay, 120 minus 4 times 3 times 8 minus 3 today is 5. $120 minus 4 times 3 times 5 is 15. I'm going to move it over here. 120 minus 4 times 15. Okay, 4 times 15 is, I think it's 60. So 120 minus 60. And 120 minus 60 today is 60. Answer for 17 is 60. Okay. The next one is number 18, and number 18 tells you what it wants you to do first, so it's a pretty easy fix, and you can do it a couple of different ways. You know what? I think I might just find turn it into an improper and do it that way. It's just as easy. So you're going to do this first. So you have 2 1/6 minus 1 1/3. 6 looks like a common denominator, so that's probably where we'll go with this. But 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13 over 6 minus 3 plus 1 is 4 over 3. Okay, probably common denominator 6 works pretty well. Excuse me, 2 times 2, so we end up with 13 minus 8 all over 6, which 5 over 6 I think works. Isn't that right? Let's see. Let me think for a second. Yeah, that works pretty good. Okay, so now we can rewrite this as 3 3/4 plus 5 over 6. Okay, I think pretty much that 12 probably works pretty well as a common denominator on this one. So I think that's what we'll do with it. We'll try 12. So let's see. I'm bringing in another piece of paper so I have just a little more room. So I have 3 3/4 plus 5 over 6. And I'm going to use 12 as my common denominator. Times 3, that's 9, plus times 2, that's 10. So I end up with 3 19 twelfths. Are we adding or subtracting? We are adding. Okay. Let's see. We have one too many, so that's going to have to be 4 and 7 twelfths. 4 and 7 twelfths. I think that is correct. I think it works pretty good for me. Right over here. Okay, because we subtracted there. All right, number 19. Number 19 is 7 7/8 times 6 divided by 2 1/4. So, again, it's pretty well telling us what we have to do first. So we have 6 over 1 divided by 2 1/4. Or 6 over 1 divided by 9/4. Over here, 6 over 1 times 4 over 9. Because we have the keep, switch, flip thing going on. So we get rid of a 3 here, this becomes a 2. We end up with 8 over 3. Okay. And then we have to take 7 7/8 times 8 over 3. Okay. And when we do that, we end up with 7 times 8 is 56, right? And 56 plus 7 is 63, sorry. 63 over 8 times 8 over 3. Get rid of the 8s. Get rid of a 3. I think that ends to be 21, doesn't it? I believe so. So ends to be 21 times 1 all over 1, which ends up to be 21. So the answer to number 19 is 21. Okay, looking at one more. And this one has a decimal element to it. Sorry if I shorted you on your work on that one so you didn't get to see it. This was the rest of the work that went with that one. If you want to look at it real quick. Once I got the 8/3, then I took it times the 7 7/8. Okay, last one that we're going to do. Okay, we have 0.4 times 0.01 times 1.4. Okay? 0.4 times 0.01. Okay? So 0.01 times 0.4 is 4, and we have 1, 2, 3 decimal places, so 1, 2, 3, so it's 0.004. Okay? That takes care of this part, and that's just the first two parts. Then we have to take 0.004, which was what we got from here, and multiply it times 1.4, which is what I'm going to do now. 4 times 4 is 16. 1 times 4 is 4. We don't have anything else to multiply. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 decimal places because there's 3 there and 1 here, which makes 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, the 0 there. So we end up with 0.0056 as our answer. There we go. And if you want to see the work again, here it is. So what we did is we took 0.4 times 0.01 right here, and we got 0.004. That was our work there. And then we took 0.004, we multiplied it by 1.4 here, and we got 56, but we had 4 decimal places to put in, so we moved it over to the left 4 places. And this was our final answer, 0.0056. Thanks a lot for listening to me. I did make a couple of ooh-boos in the middle of that, but I sure hope that you understood. And if you have questions, just ask me in class. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.